Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today, I have a very special story for you, one that shows how a small act of kindness can change a person's heart. Imagine being so angry that you plan to hurt someone in front of many people. Now, imagine that your big, mean plan is stopped by a few kind words. Sounds hard to believe, right? But this story is real, and it shows that even when we feel angry, kindness can win. So sit tight and get ready to hear how one dinner changed everything. Let me introduce you to our main character, John. John used to be married to a woman named Lisa. Once they shared happy days and laughter, but over time, they began to argue. Their love faded, and John felt very hurt and angry. In his heart, he thought that Lisa was the cause of all his problems. One day he decided that showing her up in public would make him feel better. So he planned a dinner at a fancy restaurant called the Shining Star, where he would make a big scene to embarrass her in front of everyone. John planned everything carefully. He chose a table right in the middle of the restaurant, a place full of soft lights, gentle music, and friendly faces. He even rehearsed the mean words he would say, words he thought would prove he was right. But even as these plans spun in his head, a little part of him was unsure. You see, when we are very angry, our minds can play tricks on us. We sometimes think hurting someone will fix what is broken, but that is not always true. Now let me tell you all about the Shining Star. It is a warm, lovely restaurant with shiny tables and bright decorations on the walls. The restaurant is famous for not only its tasty food, but also for its staff, people who always greet everyone with a smile and treat every guest like a friend. Every plate is served with a little extra care, and every guest leaves with a little more warmth in their heart. On the night of the dinner, John walked into this restaurant wearing a dark coat and a very serious look. His eyes were filled with anger, and his mind was set on embarrassing Lisa. But as he sat down at his table, the friendly buzz of the restaurant began to fill the space, a space that was meant for laughter, gentle words, and friendly chatter. John's heart was heavy with anger. He had decided that this dinner would be the moment when he would show everyone just how wrong Lisa had been. In his head, he saw himself saying harsh words that would make her look foolish. He planned every detail of a big, mean sentence, imagining the whispers and stares of the other diners. But even as John sat there sharpening his hurtful plan, the restaurant around him was filled with kind voices. The waiters and waitresses were busy greeting other guests, their friendly words and warm smiles filling the air. A kind waiter named Tim stopped by John's table and said, "Good evening, sir. I hope you are enjoying your meal." Tim's voice was calm and gentle, and for one moment, John almost forgot his plan as he heard that sincere greeting. However, his eyes remained hard, and his heart still carried anger. Before long, the restaurant door opened slowly, and in walked Lisa. She looked soft and a little unsure, as if she did not know what to expect for that night. Lisa was different now. Over the years, she had learned to be strong and kind, even in hard times. Many people in town knew her as someone who always had a gentle smile and a kind word for others. John saw Lisa, and his anger surged even more. This was the moment he had been waiting for. He scanned the room to see who was watching, ready to deliver his mean words. His heart pounded with anticipation for the scene he planned to create. But just then, something unexpected happened. At that very moment, Julia, a bright and lively waitress, came over to John's table. With sparkling eyes and an easy smile, she asked, "Sir, is everything all right? I truly hope you're having a good evening." Her warm, sincere tone was like a ray of sunshine through a cloudy sky. John's plan began to wobble in his head as Julia's kind words melted a little bit of the anger he had built up. Almost then, Mr. Bob, the restaurant's manager, known far and wide for his gentle nature, stepped in. He leaned over and softly said, "Sir, I can see you are hurting. Sometimes anger can make our hearts very heavy. Here in our restaurant, we try to help heal wounds with kindness. I have seen many people let go of hurt and find hope again, simply through caring words and small acts of love." Mr. Bob's simple statement was like magic. Though John had planned a harsh speech, he could not help but listen to this sincere advice. As all of this was happening, the restaurant's cheerful atmosphere continued. Soft music played in the background as other guests talked quietly and laughed over their meals. In the midst of John's storm of anger, a small and unexpected moment of humor arrived. A little child at a nearby table looked up, wide-eyed, and said, "My mom always says that when you are mean, you put dark clouds over your heart, and when you are kind, the sun comes out." This simple truth echoed around the room. Even John, who was ready to unleash his planned words, felt a small chuckle escape him. The truth in the child's words couldn't be ignored. It was as if the child had spoken right to his heart, showing him that anger only brings gloom, while kindness invites sunshine. After the child spoke those sweet words, Tim the waiter returned bringing a special treat. "Sir, please try our warm cocoa. It is made especially to warm the coldest hearts," he said with a sincere smile. John hesitated only a moment before taking the cup. The cocoa was sweet and comforting, and as John sipped it, he felt a gentle warmth spread through him. It was not just the chocolatey taste that comforted him. It was a simple, caring gesture that made him pause. The planned harsh words for Lisa began to lose their bite as John realized that a small act of kindness can change how we feel. Slowly, while the rest of the dinner went on with pleasant conversations and soft music, John's heart started to change. His anger, which had seemed as big as a storm, began to shrink under the gentle influence of kind words. He sat back and listened to the friendly chatter, noticing how every whispered word of kindness from the staff seemed to put another tiny ray of sunshine into his heart. Let me share a little secret with you all. When we are angry, our mind feels like a dark, stormy sky. Our thoughts become heavy, and everything seems harsh and bitter. But a kind word is like a bright, warm sunbeam that breaks through the clouds. It lights up our heart and helps us see that anger is not the only way. In John's case, the kind sentences from Mr. Bob, Julia, and even that little child slowly made him see that his mean plan was not the best way to mend his hurt feelings. Think about a time when you were upset and someone gave you a hug or said something nice. It made the sadness lighter, didn't it? That is exactly what happened with John. The kitchen clanged with pots and pans, the soft music played on, and all around the restaurant was filled with hope, even on a night that began with anger. The experience was gentle and full of care, and John began to understand that bitterness only makes our hearts heavy. He started to feel that maybe, just maybe, forgiveness and kindness were much better gifts than any harsh word he could say. At one point, as John sat quietly and let all these kind words wash over him, he looked across the room at Lisa. She was sitting with a group of gentle friends, sharing soft laughs and smiles. In that warm light, John saw not the person he once argued with, but a human being who had also suffered and grown. He suddenly realized that his plan to hurt her would not heal his pain. In fact, it would only make his heart even heavier. The restaurant, with its gentle chatter and caring staff, had created the perfect moment for John to rethink his actions. He understood that all the anger he had built up was like a dark cloud, and no amount of harsh words could clear it away. Instead, the small kindnesses, the friendly smile from Tim, the soft advice of Mr. Bob, and even the frank words from the little child had helped him see a better way forward. John took a deep breath and slowly put away the plan that had filled his mind from the start of the evening. With each kind word he heard, the heavy feelings inside him began to fade. As the dinner continued, he stopped rehearsing his mean lines and started paying attention to the warmth around him. He even noticed the subtle ways the staff treated everyone like family. The realization struck him hard. Hurting Lisa would not heal him. It would create only more pain. In that quiet, heartwarming moment, John decided that he no longer wanted to be controlled by anger. He thought, today's night is no longer about hurting someone else. It can be about healing myself instead. And just like that, in the gentle glow of the shining star, John's heart began to change. His plan to embarrass Lisa was dropped forever, replaced by a new desire to let go of the past and find a kinder way to move on. I want you to remember this as you listen. When we are very angry, it helps to take a moment and really listen to kind words. Imagine anger as a heavy backpack that makes your steps slow and hard. But even a small word of kindness can make the backpack feel lighter. This is why listening to others and being kind can change not only our feelings, but our lives. John's evening is a perfect example. Instead of following a hurtful plan, he learned that choosing kindness is the way forward, a lesson that can help us all. Sometimes life seems filled with dark moments, just like a sky full of clouds. But even on the cloudiest days, there is always a sun waiting to shine through. And that sun is in the kind words we share with each other. So if you ever feel upset or angry, try to remember John's story and let a little kindness guide you. I believe that every one of us has the power to choose kindness every day. When we feel hurt or angry, we have two choices: stay stuck in darkness or let the light of kind words show us a better way. In many ways, John's story is a lesson for all of us. It tells us that even when we plan something mean, the simplicity of a caring smile or a gentle word can change our mind. I remember a time when I felt really upset, and someone I did not expect said something so kind that it completely changed my mood. It was like a sudden burst of light after a long, dark tunnel. Just like that, over a cup of warm cocoa or a friendly chat, our heavy feelings can be set free. So please remember, whether you are a grown-up or a little kid, a kind word matters. It is one of the strongest ways to heal our hearts. Now, let me share a little funny thought with you. Imagine if John had planned his mean words like a bad magician preparing a messy trick, only to have the magic of kindness make his trick disappear. It would be like planning to pull a rabbit out of a hat and ending up with a basket of warm cookies instead. The staff at the Shining Star didn't try to perform a magic trick. They simply did what they do best. They treated everyone with respect and love. That simple act of being kind was enough to turn a night of anger into an evening of hope and change. As the dinner slowly came to an end, the entire restaurant seemed to share a secret smile, a smile that said, "Today a heart was healed." Lisa enjoyed her meal with her friends, unaware of the storm that had once been planned. John, now quiet and thoughtful, finished his cocoa and looked around. The sparkling lights, the soft music, and the caring faces all reminded him that life is filled with more gentle moments than angry ones. That night, John left the restaurant with a lighter heart, a new resolve to move on without bitterness, and a promise to himself to choose kindness from now on. So what can we learn from John's story? First, anger is a feeling that can make us do things we later wish we had not done. It is like a dark cloud that blocks out the light in our lives. But when we listen to kind words or share a kind word of our own, that dark cloud can begin to break apart, letting the sunshine in. This story teaches us that even when we feel the need to hurt someone in order to feel better, kindness is always the better choice. It heals wounds, brings smiles, and makes our hearts brave enough to forgive and move on. Every one of us has moments when we feel very hurt, and it's natural to get angry. But remember this simple truth. A kind word is like magic. It can lift even the heaviest heart. The simple actions of Tim, Julia, Mr. Bob, and even the little child all remind us that there is always hope for change. No matter how dark the moment might seem, kindness can come in and change everything. And that, my friends, is the real magic of being human. Thank you so much for listening to this story of change, hope, and kindness. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps us share more of these heartwarming stories with you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We have many more stories and lessons that can help brighten your day and remind you of the power of kindness. Before you go, please check out the video on your screen right now. It talks about even more ways that little acts of kindness can change your life. While you watch that video, remember, every kind word you speak can help lighten someone's heavy heart. Together, let's choose kindness every day and let our smiles shine as brightly as the stars. This is your friend, signing off and reminding you that no matter how dark the night may seem, the light of love and kindness is always just a kind word away. Stay kind and see you in our next video.